Okay, I believe we are live on Facebook. Yes, it's saying we're live on Facebook. So welcome into ATB at the Buzzer. I'm Billy Rubbershoes Corey, and he is Tyler Littleshoes Corey. We're brought to you by AAA Work Trucks, your one-stop shop for all your work truck needs. If it goes in or on a vehicle, it's a good bet AAA could take care of it for you. Give them a call at 866-783-6222. Or check them out online at aaaworktrucks.com. All right, I'm going to see if I can share that we're live. Yep, we are live and I'm sharing. So, all right. So, I don't know. Any news going on today?
Not that I heard of. I don't think so. Slow news day.
Let's start with the Red Sox. Then we'll
you don't want to start with the elephant in the room?
Okay, all right. So
if we start with the Red Sox, everyone's going to tune out, and it's nothing.
You've been living under a rock most of the day, or you don't listen to sports stations or
on any social media platform or anything like that.
So they're
almost unavoidable
reports sometime in the middle of the night because
I was still up.
Yeah, I got
that came out
text from Tyler when I woke up this morning. So I got up at 4:20, and you had already texted me. So what time did that break last night?
Like pretty much right after 12. I was it was right around like 12. Maybe it was. I can literally look when. Because the second I texted it was when it happened.
So Woj from ESPN came.
It wasn't even that. It was like 11. Yeah.
Okay, so Woj came out last night. Woj from Wojnarowski. What's his first name?
Adrian
Wojnarowski came out with news last night from ESPN that Ime Udoka, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, may be suspended due to something going on. So it's come out today that, it's still the Celtics have yet to address this issue. It's been, all rumors all day long. Everyone's speculating.
I mean, we already know what it is, but
still they have not made an official statement saying what's going on. This is still all hearsay from sources. Ime Udoka had an intimate
relationship with one of the staff members.
On the staff members, yes.
And first, Stephen A. did say like he can't report on stuff that hasn't been officially put out, but he said from what he's heard, there's a lot more details to it, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I think okay. I mean, he broke policy. It's 100% on him. I mean, you signed up for the job. You should have known better,
So for people that don't know, it is thought that he is going to be suspended for the whole season.
It's pretty. That's probably going to be the whole season.
So if you just had so he is married. Also,
which I heard possibly maybe him and Nia Long had broken up.
Oh, okay.
Just hadn't said, but that's just rumblings. For what we know, yes, he was still
intimate affair. We'll just call it an affair for now. That's
what it. Yeah, it's been deemed, but it may or may not. Yeah,
that you're not supposed to do it for someone that works on the staff.
Correct.
For it to be a full season makes you really think.
That's why it's
got to be something.
I've heard
else.
There's more to it.
Yeah.
Also, I think.
Good.
I think it's a really bad look for the organization, just because if they're going to terminate him, no one should be knowing. Like, why did this get out if it's just going to be suspension and we're not getting rid of him?
Well, there's been, as I said, it's all rumors out there right now. So people are speculating on maybe they're doing the suspension so he can't go out and work for another, get picked up by another team. So if he gets suspended a year, and maybe they do still want him on as the coach, so they suspend him for the year and then he comes back next year.
Yeah, I mean, classic us, where At least it's a good thing we did do this on a Thursday for once.
Yeah, so if
because
we had did the show last night, we
it would have been
missed
very
all
out of
this.
date. But I am still saying there's still a lot more information we had to where probably we won't be able to give the full story until next week. But at least we have something here instead of
Right.
absolutely nothing, which would happen.
And usually when a sports team wants to hide something, they usually release the statement or the press conference.
Correct.
They'll do
Because I
it
mean,
Friday evening after 5 o'clock. That's when they usually have stories that they don't want. They want the least amount of people to find out about. So, you froze up there for a second. So not only so now they're not going to have their coach. They lost Gallinari. Robert Williams just had to go in and have his knee cleaned up and is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, which
I mean, that's he
like
won't really miss much time
like
at all. Maybe the
Thanksgiving.
first week, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But things aren't trending in the right way after them coming out being the the
favorites to win it all.
to win the NBA championship, and all this stuff has come out since. So,
I don't know.
So last I heard that, well, it's still all speculation. So I've heard that the assistant coach will be taking over.
Yeah, they've already come out and said
they
that.
did say, okay, because I had also heard Frank Vogel's name thrown out there today.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe he has something with Tatum and Brown or something. He has some.
But no, from what I saw, unless at least as of right now, it'd be maybe they come and get someone else. But it's as of right now, it's who it is.
So that's
There's not. I mean, there's not much to get into because we don't know for sure, and we get into a bunch of stuff and it ends up being something else. That's kind of what's the point. But
so
I mean, it
from
sucks.
what we know, he's going to be gone for the season, and it's going to be assistant coach. Do you know it? I forget.
It's like Joe or something. I think. I don't know. I could be a complete liar. I saw
Scotty
quickly.
Dukes. Yeah. So how hopeful? Maybe that's why. So the owner Grossbeck was saying last week, we're maybe he knew all this stuff a couple weeks ago when he came out and said that they, we don't think we want to be pumped up that much. We think might be a little overrated. Maybe he knew all this stuff going into that.
Yeah. Also, this isn't really Celtics, but Bogdanovich did get traded to the Pistons like an hour ago.
Oh.
I don't know what they got for him, but I know there was rumors that he was maybe going to end up in a big trade and end up going to the Lakers, but I don't think we were involved in that 4-team trade. So.
That's it. Was with Atlanta, right?
No, the Jazz.
Oh, Jazz.
You think of the other Bogdanovich.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Bojan Bogdanovich.
Utah is just blowing it up then.
Correct. They have legitimately no. Yeah, it was probably for like draft fodder, which I mean that's
wow.
They're doing what OKC's doing, just getting as many picks as possible. And
how's that going into?
It's already like even when there's good players in Utah, no one wants to watch Utah or cares about Utah. Now there's literally no one.
It isn't Danny Ainge is there now, right? Isn't he the general manager?
Yeah. Yes, I believe so.
But so maybe rebuilding. He has had a history of being able to rebuild teams. So I'll give him benefit of the doubt that maybe he knows what he's doing. But yeah, I don't know. OKC, I don't know if they
OKC are in better shape.
Yeah.
OKC have a lot of picks and have some decent. They got Josh Giddey and they got some decent guys. But this isn't the OKC show, so bring back the Sonics.
Yeah.
You want to touch on the Red Sox?
Let's
not really much
Sox before we go to Patriots.
We're basically just like checking a box at this point. It's not like there's much to really.
Well, so not just
you can
the
watch
Red Sox. We could talk about just baseball in general. There's a couple things.
I was gonna say the most
right
interesting about the Red Sox is that you can watch Aaron Judge potentially hit some home runs against us.
So Aaron Judge is tied with Babe Ruth with 60 home runs, which is tied for second on the Yankees. Also tied for second in the American League
Yeah.
History. If he hits one more, which 4 games against the Red Sox, he's probably going to hit one in this
At
series.
least, yeah.
So he will
There's no
tie
way.
Roger Maris for the most for the Yankees and most for an American League player.
There's no way they don't pay him after this, right? Like that is I can see them not, but like that is insane to not do that.
So the problem where, same with Xander Bogaerts. He's 30, 30-ish.
Right. So you send
years old.
Yeah. If you're signing them to it, because all these deals are like 10 years.
Right. I'm not giving a 30-year-old a 10-year contract and having him on my books at 40 years old. I know it's like, yeah, Tom Brady's 45 is still doing it, but how many other 45-year-olds are out there doing it?
And there's a big difference between, I mean, Aaron Judge is a much bigger guy too.
Yeah.
His body's definitely going to break down. And he's doing,
in the past.
There's a big difference between a quarterback and someone like him where his body would break down a lot sooner than Tom Brady. And I doubt he's doing all this crazy whatever stuff that Brady does.
Yeah. I don't know if someone's going to pony up for the 10-year.
I mean, you got to look at it at this point. Like, is it worth, 7 years down the line being in some bad capital if you get like a championship or two out of it?
That's what
what they have to, and there's no guarantee. I mean,
I would be good, 5 years, maybe. So
but that doesn't happen anymore.
Right. I know that, but and
it
doesn't seem to be hurting baseball because they get the big television contracts, so they have plenty of money that way. They're not.
And football's getting that way too now, like with the Mahomes contract. I feel like that might start being the direct. I don't know how long's Kyler's. He's only 5, right?
Oh, he just got a new contract.
He got $250 million.
Yeah.
See, Russell Wilson has a long one. He has an 8-year contract.
But see, with football, a lot of it's not guaranteed. Like they'll guarantee so much,
like a third of it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why they don't get hurt as much down the road. But baseball, I mean, so the Red Sox still had Panda on the books. They had like up to last year, I think.
I mean, Celtics just stopped paying Garnett last year.
Huh. Yeah, so these guaranteed contracts, they can really hurt, and that might be why the Red Sox, they never seem to be afraid to spend money before, but when you have so much dead money that you're paying,
it's a gamble.
$50 million to people that aren't even in baseball anymore. It's kind of hard. The Yankees had to
nothing guaranteed.
Pay A-Rod way past when he was playing.
You never know.
Yeah, they have the money. I think that's the whole reason why the players stick to their guns and hold out because someone's gonna pay him. There's between the Dodgers, the Yankees. I doubt the Red Sox because the Red Sox have been playing it pretty cheap lately. So I mean, if they were gonna spend a big contract like that, I think it would be on Devers.
Right, and I think it's worth it more to other teams that have more of a built like a team like the Padres or the Dodgers where they're already pretty set up to get he's just another piece to tie together to make sure they get championships. Whereas like we've talked about before, baseball, it's not like if you bring in the best player in the league to your team, it doesn't automatically mean you're just a championship, know?
Yeah.
You can, I mean, look at what happened the Nationals lost their best player and then won the championship after.
Yeah, because baseball is more of a
correct.
Team
so that's why I'm saying if you don't have a super built team, there isn't that much of a point in other than, I get trying to get ticket sales and all that stuff.
Because on paper,
is it really worth
so they make money back that way, merchandise.
That's other than getting people to buy tickets to see that player. If you're not an already pretty well built team, what is the point in getting Aaron Judge?
Yeah.
At least for all the money. Obviously anyone would want Aaron Judge on their team, but to sign a gigantic contract like that.
You look at the Dodgers. Dodgers probably they're the highest paid team, got the most
Yeah, and
Well,
they're
maybe the
always championship
Padres are
favorites
close
without him.
now. Once they got Soto,
Correct. And once they get Tatis back and you have Judge, that's a killer's row right there.
yeah. But it doesn't get. I mean, the Dodgers have won one championship.
Correct. And it was a COVID year. You can barely even count it.
Yeah.
Because it's like half the season.
Baseball is probably the toughest to win it all when you have a stacked team.
Correct. I mean, look at the Yankees the last like 7 years.
Yeah. Right.
Like 5 or so. Like
Especially
the last couple.
So that was like the
bringing in
problem
Garrett
with
Cole and all that.
the Red Sox back in the 70s. They would load up, be big bombers, have guys that could hit home runs, but the pitching wasn't the greatest.
Because they were.
You need to pick. You need to have a little here, a little there, a little there. You need a little starting pitching, little you need relief pitching. Fielding.
I mean, Yankees paid big bucks for Garrett Cole and it hasn't paid off.
Right.
It's,
and the way they started out this year, it was like, oh yeah, they were locked to win it all, and now
they blow.
The second half of the season,
they're going to be knocked first round probably.
It's all who gets hot at the right time.
The end,
like the Atlanta Braves last year, they had to scrap and fight to get into the playoffs, and then they end up winning it all because they just you hit your stride at the right time.
Right. Exactly. It's probably the most unpredictable, at least I'd say unpredictable from the start of the season.
So another thing to watch with baseball is Albert Pujols is trying to hit 700 home runs for his career. He's sitting on 699 right now, so he needs one more to get 700, and he will be retiring after this season. So I hope he gets the 700 to retire with 700, which puts him. So today's Thursday. So on the Rubber Shoes wrap up, I do Throwback Thursday. So I did one today was so Willie Mays hit his 600th home run today back in whatever it was, 1960 something. And when he finished his career, he was, I think, second on the all-time list, and now he's sixth. So Albert Pujols, he ended up with 660 home runs to finish his career. Albert Pujols is above him. Barry Bonds is above him. So Barry Bonds has the single season and the all-time home run, but he had a little help.
Yeah. That's
the reason why he's not in the Hall of Fame right now.
That's it. There's always the argument like baseball is at its best when everyone was just doing steroids. Like, right? Just everyone, people, they just let him go loose and just see how absolutely absurd this can get.
I know.
So
it's that
like that
thing,
late 90s.
And the thing that I always
wild.
worried about also about that is kids, kids in high school see, the way to make money in the pros is to do that. And you don't want kids using stuff because they're not going to have the means of, professional athlete can have, like how Bonds did it. He went to a scientist who got the right formula for stuff for him. Right. Kids are just going to buy stuff wherever they can get it and take just, whatever. Yeah, exactly. And who knows, the old school anabolic steroids was definitely not good. I mean, Canseco's got some things going on in his body from taking all that stuff. And
I mean, I'm sure, it's Canseco's.
Some older people remember Lyle Alzado from the Oakland Raiders. He had a bad outcome from that.
So, I mean, so many players. I mean, if David Ortiz did steroids, it's
see, I don't know if he did steroid. He did a performance enhancement drug, PED. Right. It's like there's so many other synthetic things you can take that they that's why the list of banned substances is so long.
Yeah, because I mean we don't know for sure, but for what Tatis claimed, he got popped for I forgot what he said, but like a medication for like your head, they just didn't clear, something like that. He could be lying, but
probably
it's believable. I know it happens. I mean, it's happened in wrestling. People, I think someone like didn't say that they were doing an ADHD medicine. They got popped and got suspended, all this stuff. So it's a lot, but but yeah, Red Sox, 2 more weeks left of Red Sox baseball, and then
Yep.
hopefully we don't get really cut out during the off season and look worse.
So just throw it out there. I'm all in rooting for Seattle Mariners this year.
I'm in on that. Yeah,
I like
I like the Mariners.
with small market team. Kind of came out of nowhere.
It's the most fun that exactly. Yeah,
it's like they've been such a good team this second half, and they're still, I think, like 10 games behind the Astros in the West.
Yeah,
it looks like, I mean, they still haven't guaranteed they're the last team in the wild card right now, which I hope.
Right
and
now,
like
we brought up, the Braves just barely scratched in, and Orioles are out now.
They're 4 games behind Seattle. Seattle has the last spot. Toronto and Tampa look like they're going to be locked in.
Toronto, every year they're always there, and then they do nothing.
Yeah, they still have some issues with their bullpen. So
I feel like there's so many other teams that like ups and downs and stuff like that, and then they're just a constant like this. They don't ever really improve vastly. They don't ever really fall vastly. They're just always in that wild card slot.
Yep. It's the whole,
and then they lose, and
the
that's
whole
it.
package. You need the whole package.
Correct.
It's
and you only have that window for so long, because someone like Vlad Guerrero, you never know how long someone like that peak will last and all that stuff. So it's
right.
And plus, then it's like, maybe they figure the team out, and then Vlad goes to the Braves or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
they're kind of a small market team. They got rid of Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
Because he was too much. But they brought in, I think it was Olsen. They brought in, signed him to a decent contract, and he's filled in for Freeman pretty well. And they got you figure last year they won it. They didn't have Acuna Jr. This year they do. So they're there. They're hitting their stride. It's still not a lock for the Mets. I think Atlanta's
I want to say my pick
half behind the Mets.
My pick to win the World Series is the Mets.
Really?
Oh.
Well, we'll see.
I think they're out of all the teams, I think they have the best pitching.
Even though the Red Sox will not be in it, I'm looking forward to it. One, to see who knocks the Yankees out. So that's my number one thing. And I mean, a lot of the other teams in it, I have nothing. I just want to.
There's interest because there's some different teams this year. I mean, obviously the Astros on top. I mean, like we were just talking about, Seattle and the Mets.
Padres. Who else is over in the West?
A lot of teams that a couple years ago were sucking and weren't even near it. So it's always interesting to see.
Philly might be close. I think
I have no idea.
So the wild card, Atlanta's already clinched a spot. The Dodgers and the Mets have clinched. So Philadelphia Phillies are the third wild card team right now. They are 2.5 games ahead of Milwaukee. So Milwaukee's still in the mix. They still have a chance. Be interesting. I wish our team was in it, but they're not.
You just remind me of the Phillies dunks. I need to see how much the resale is on there.
So a couple positive notes on the Red Sox. Tristan Casas has played pretty well. Looks like we'll be seeing him come starting next year. Also, Brian Bayo has had a few good starts.
Yeah, I hate being size 13, Dad. Like they're going for like 200, but my size, I know, but my size they're like 370.
Oh,
they came out with some New York Mets ones as well, and
then
the Dodgers ones are coming.
We'll touch.
I'm gonna get my hands on those Dodgers.
Let's talk about. We got Thursday night football tonight. Cleveland Browns,
and Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Who do you like in this one?
I mean, if the last 2 minutes of the game on Sunday went slightly differently, then I'd say a lock for the Cleveland Browns. That was all right. Let me sit up for this because that was 100% the defense just absolutely taking their foot off the gas. Denzel Ward just stopped playing his position I don't understand how you don't cover the back corner like that. They literally had a 99.9% chance of winning that game.
Well,
But
I think the Ravens had probably more of a
they had
99.
I saw this. They had a 98.89, and the Raiders, I think, peaked at a 98.3% chance, and all those teams lost.
Yeah, a lot of big
I
collapses in the second half.
I
this
think
past
still
weekend.
Cleveland is still more of a complete team. Jacoby Brissett, I mean, he obviously threw that pick at the end of the game, but
Yeah,
I still would probably take him over Mitchell Trubisky. Sunday really showed that
yeah. Mitch,
the
I
Steelers
didn't think
defensive
he was
line,
as bad on Chicago than what I saw this past Sunday.
which I still need to mention the fact that Mac Jones and his stats were basically identical, which really shows how just
But it
subpar
looked a
Mac
lot
Jones has been.
different. So we'll touch on. So who
But
do you got tonight in the game?
but I still think overall Cleveland are gonna win just because they're more complete.
Is it in Cleveland?
I think so because I'm not gonna.
I believe it
It was
is.
home opener in Pittsburgh with us, so
Right.
I don't think they're going back to back.
It's
I take him
Steelers
over
at the
Trubisky,
Browns.
and I think they really proved that their whole entire defensive rush was literally TJ Watt, because unless it's just our O line stepped up, but they had no impact in Mac Jones' pocket at all, really.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Especially with how good the Cleveland's running game is. I fully expect Cleveland to win. I would say, and that offense can't do crap anyways. Give me 17-27 Cleveland.
Yeah, I like that. Also, because the Patriots were able to run the ball pretty decent.
But I should also mention, like, Cleveland against us, it might be a coaching thing, but when they were doing no huddle, they scored pretty easily against us. And then they didn't do any other no huddle after that.
Pittsburgh?
Correct.
Yeah, you said Cleveland.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. When they ran no huddle against us, Mitch Trubisky didn't look bad, and they marched down the field and scored, and then they didn't do it at all after that.
Yeah.
Which was very strange.
Yeah. It's curious when you see teams that do that. But
do something that works and then don't. Like,
right.
Cleveland could have easily just ran the ball with Nick Chubb 50 times and just easily cursed through and run. I mean, I could talk about all day how that was impossible choking, but we'll go into the Patriots because we were already kind of talking.
Yeah.
about
So
it,
okay, we got Patriots with their home opener against the Baltimore Ravens,
and quickly I guess we'll talk about
monstrous collapse this past weekend.
Which this game is very interesting to me now after that game, because it shows how absolutely screwed the Ravens defense is with all the injuries. But at the same time, we've only scored 3 touchdowns all season.
Yeah.
So it's a weird one.
We can't get it. We're not coming back from, Mac Jones isn't throwing 6 touchdowns.
Right. This is an interesting matchup. I don't think it's game that's out of our realm of winning by any means. It's really going to depend on the defensive side, because even though our offense is struggling, our offense should still be able to easily get some points up against that defense. So as long as we can contain Ravens offense, we're definitely in it, is what I'm saying. I'm saying even though our offenses look bad, I don't think we're going to have much struggles on offense to at least put points up. I don't know if it'll be a high scoring, but I'm saying it's more.
Well, the problem
it's more on our defense to win the game than it is our offense.
Some of our more athletic defenders, like Duggar, and there's another guy that,
and also Lamar's a bit shaky injury wise, apparently. So I would also watch out for that. I guess he has an elbow thing going on.
Oh,
so yeah, as long as we don't get absolutely destroyed like our 7-0 defense did against the Ravens, which that was still insanity.
Yeah,
because that was we were not ready for him.
What's your pick?
Oh, well, I gave my Cleveland pick. You can give your pick for this first, and then I'll go.
Okay, so I have to stick with the way that I projected the Patriots to be 7-10 this season. So I had this as a loss, I'm gonna stick with it because especially with Baltimore giving up that lead and losing last week, I think they're gonna come in very determined to prove that they're not that team that played last weekend. I think they're gonna beat the Patriots. Let's see, Ravens 27 and the Patriots 17.
You're pretty close to me. I was gonna give the Patriots the win, but I've decided not. I'm gonna go 23-20 Ravens.
23-20 Ravens. Okay.
Nick Folk's gonna Or
Nick
yeah,
Foles- Oh,
I'm saying Nick Folk's missing an extra point.
oh, missed a field goal.
Or yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Math. It's hard. Well, I don't know. I was going into, what I was gonna say is I'm picking us to lose this because originally I would have had us losing to the Ravens and the Packers, but I very much think we're gonna beat the Packers. So
In Green Bay.
yeah, the Packers blow.
They won this last weekend.
Yeah, against the Bears.
Oh.
The Bears are awful.
It's so hard. The one thing that I think's come out in the first 2 weeks is that the Buffalo Bills are for real.
They are, but I still don't think they're making the
they're the
Super
team
Bowl.
to beat, I think.
I agree. They're gonna absolutely curb stomp us. They're also gonna expose the Dolphins. The Dolphins aren't as good as people are saying.
There's a hurricane or a tornado going on in a game again like last year. That's the other reason why they beat them. That the Patriots beat them one game is because of that horrible rainstorm.
They got 3 passes off that entire game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a wild one. That was prime time too, right?
Yeah.
That was a very interesting game. Entertaining but for different reasons.
Yeah. So unless they get weather like that again this year,
it was just a windstorm, right?
Buffalo will win. Well, I think there was some rain too, but it was super windy. Okay, so let's see. We touched on the Patriots.
We touched everything.
So hockey, we had
Chara.
Zdeno Chara signed a 1-day contract so he could retire as a Boston Bruin. He loves this town.
Yep.
Loves this city.
Love it. Yeah.
They still live here. He's been playing with the other teams, but his wife and kids have been still living here. So he loves this city. So he wanted to retire a Boston Bruin. So that looks like you'll have another NHL Hall of Famer wearing the B into the Hall of Fame.
And you think they'll retire his number?
Ooh. That's a good question. Let's see. He won a championship. He was here for quite a few years. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. So I'll say yes, that they are going to retire his number.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
Also, not Bruins, but PK Subban also retired, which his career is very interesting because he was like, he really fell down very quickly, I feel.
Yeah.
And he's not even that old. He just was slow.
Well, I don't think anyone wanted him. He was making too much money.
Correct.
For what he was.
Well, yeah, because when he left the Canadiens, he was so good, and then he just went to Nashville. He was still all right on Nashville.
Injuries. He was
correct
battling injuries, and
then once he got to the Devils, it was pretty much,
Yeah. So two. I don't think Subban's a Hall of Famer.
No, if he stayed on track, he definitely would have been.
Yeah.
But
two.
He looked like he was going to be, but especially since
all-star, at least all-star. He definitely was all-star level player. So two really good in their
players,
prime defensemen leaving the league.
Yeah, I think that. Does that pretty much wrap us up here?
So, well, since it's just us on, do we want to touch on some wrestling this week?
Sure thing. Oh, random news. Trevor Story's back on the IL.
Yeah, he's done for the season.
He has a bruised left heel. I don't know. Also,
yeah, that's another thing. If Xander Bogaerts has an option. He can opt out and be a free agent. So that leaves you Trevor Story, who's been hurt a ton
On
this year.
crutches. Yeah, it's
Unless
going to
they-
be. We could be really with. There might be some really bad years of baseball in Boston again.
It's either going to be an amazing
Yeah, I
offseason.
100% agree. Yeah, it's either going
or
to be awful or
we're all going to be shaking our heads like, what? Because they have a lot of people that with expiring contracts or opt outs this on the current roster. So there's going to be a lot of holes they need to fill going into next year. And
I know it still probably won't happen, but can you imagine if we actually did get Aaron Judge?
There's no, I would be so shocked.
I mean, there's the whole conversation that he wants to be a Red Sox, but
it's wow. We should do this show first thing in the morning.
I always yawn. I yawn on
Yeah.
this show every single time, and I don't know why.
I think it's because when you talk a lot, I used to do that with Grampy. I'd be talking to him and I'd be yawning. Like, oh, what am I boring you? No, it's just something about talking a lot.
Yeah, if you want to talk about the show last night real quick, I don't know if there's anything else like newsworthy. I mean, there's the rumblings that Bray Wyatt's going to come back.
Well, we haven't. So some people may know. Let's see. Oh, we got. There's been the whole suspensions in AEW.
Yeah, which
So
I'd say credit to them. I think they've done a very good job of kind of shifting away attention to that and having. I think last night is one of the best shows they've ever put on.
Yes, that was Grand Slam at Arthur Ashe Stadium,
Which is that's
New
a tennis stadium, right?
Yes,
correct. Yeah,
that was a good crowd. They so I don't know if people out there watch wrestling. I know I had our friend Matt that we see at shows all the time. He chimed in, so if he's still listening out there, I'm not sure if he watches AEW. I know he watches WWE and he goes to the local chaotic wrestling events.
correct.
Oh, actually, we saw he was at the ROH, so that would make me think that he does watch AEW. And the Acclaim win the tag team belts off of
Swerve in our glory.
Swerve in all his glory, right? Is
In
that how
our
they say it? In
our
our glory,
Yeah.
which was they're from New York, right?
Yeah.
Claimed. So
One of them's from I think Staten Island, the other one's from Jersey, technically, I think. But
that place was going nuts. The whole match, and then when they finally won, it just erupted. Great
Yeah.
show last night. Do you think CM Punk comes back?
well, I was gonna touch a report about 4 hours ago was that they're gonna buy out his contract with him. They're working on a way to buy him out, and he's done.
Okay.
So from what I've seen, he
So
is.
they can't just release him?
I guess not, or I don't know how that works, but that's what from what I saw. It's not expected he comes back, and they also
He'll be
mentioned
out
that
a while because of his injury.
yeah,
anyway.
he's gonna be gone 9 months anyways. But they also mentioned how that last night when they were commentating, they were talking about Ring of Honor champions, and they didn't mention him. So
Oh, speaking of Ring of Honor champions, we had Chris Jericho becoming the Ocho, winning his 8th different title, right? Is that
8th world title?
8th world title. Okay.
Correct.
So that's so I know Tyler and I have talked about this off the air many times that I think Chris Jericho is he's definitely one of the best wrestlers of all time, just for the longevity, the different roles he's played. You know, he's been babyface, he's been heel.
Said like
He's
10 different
definitely
characters.
a great entertainer.
Yeah,
as he's promoting himself as currently, a sports entertainer, not a wrestler.
And I mean, maybe not last few years, but at least this year he's had a lot of great matches.
Yes.
I think like first couple years AEW hadn't been really having great matches like he used to. He was one of the best, especially like early 2000s, best workers they had. But he's really stepped it up. He lost weight, and last night was a great match. And
when he first signed with AEW, and that was the first thing that came out was Raw. AEW was Jericho or Jericho. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, because he had the match with Omega and New Japan. He was doing New Japan, and then
I was thinking, they have him. It's a name. It's a draw. People will tune in just because of the name, but he has definitely been more than just a name.
And he's reinvented himself like 3 times in AEW alone. So
he's amazing. Give a shout out to
Jericho,
which we were gonna go see Fozzy, but
he got hurt in the Moxley match.
His larynx bruised. He can't do the show, and so they're going back on tour next year, but they did not add the lull,
which I'm sure they probably will eventually.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get to see him.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Good take. Other than that, I'm assuming, presumably, it's going to be MJF and Moxley at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Which does bring up an interesting thing. This is kind of more of a deep thing. Not many people are going to really. But so Jon Moxley was scheduled to be on vacation at this point from AEW. Obviously, the whole suspension thing happened, and they decided to put the belt on him. But he's scheduled to face Nick Gage. He's still the GCW champion. He's scheduled to defend it against Nick Gage in, I think, a week or two in Atlantic City. And it's match versus title versus career, which I'm assuming he was probably going to lose.
That from GCW.
No, I'm assuming Moxley was going to lose the title and then take his vacation because he wouldn't have been AEW champion or in AEW. But now it's like he's their world champion. Unless Nick Gage is actually going to retire, that's not like a match you can easily just change the finish to. But I'm like, is Tony Khan going to want Moxley losing to someone on a different show like that?
That's why you tune in and watch, right?
Exactly. That's interesting. But it is what. But yeah, no, a great show. WWE's been picking up. We're going to Survivor Series in November.
We might go to SmackDown, also,
which is October. You said, right?
Yeah, I think it's the first Friday in October. Although that will be the big sports card show in Wilmington that weekend. Also, no, that's in November.
Yeah, that's usually first week of November, right?
Yeah, we'll be free. Yeah. So we're
we'll probably go, and we're going to AEW.
You're interested in going to SmackDown? The tickets are pretty cheap.
Is that a Worcester?
It's in Worcester, yes.
Oh yeah, we went. That's where we were last time. So
yeah, we saw AEW there. We saw SmackDown there.
Which in AEW we're going to go see in Agganis. Which I don't think Agganis Arena is a very nice arena, but I thought that AEW had a better atmosphere in Boston than it did in Worcester.
It's an interesting take. You think they're getting more younger people in the crowds?
I mean, their demographics kind of like 18 to
expanding now.
Correct. I mean, it's all more older anyways. It's not like many
WWE was more the family show.
Yeah, which it still is.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll have to see if Luke wants to go to SmackDown.
Yeah.
See if he's still into it.
Yeah. I think that wraps this though.
Okay. So that will do it for this week's episode of Just the Shoes. ATB at the buzzer. I'm Billy Rubber Shoes Corey. He's Tyler Little Shoes Corey. If you want to see all of our social media, go to atb.com. That'll send you to our link tree. You can find our YouTube page, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all our social media pages, and like, sign up, subscribe to everything. And
do whatever you can.
Look for me every morning on Instagram and Facebook doing the Rubber Shoes wrap up. For Billy Rubber Shoes Corey and Tyler Corey, we are out of here. Have a great week.
Deuces.